What's up, everybody? Tim Williams here. We are here to break down tonight's 13-game MLB slate over on DraftKings. It is Tuesday, June 21st. Got the month right this time. Yeah, we got 13 games to break down. Big slate here. A lot of potential offenses. Pitching a little bit worse than yesterday's slate. So really kind of anything goes. Before I get into it, what would really help me out a ton is if you just like this video, subscribe to the channel. I don't do videos every day, so yeah, let's enjoy this one. So first game we have here is the Nationals taking on the Orioles. No over under total just yet. Eric Fed taking on Lyles. Feddy 5.7K, 18% strikeout rate here, just over 11% walk rate, 503 xFIP here. Not a terrible pitcher by any means, not a good pitcher by any means. Not really somebody probably looking to get to on a 13 game slate. It is a upgrade as far as pitcher park goes, but probably staying away from him. On the other side, Lyles 6K, 19% strikeout rate here. Washington towards the bottom in strikeouts versus right-handed pitching, so that is something worthy of noting here. So probably staying off of him. As far as bats go with Washington, Lyles in general struggling against left-handed batters. Soto 5.2K. I think he's a decent spend up here. 268 ISO versus right-handed pitching. Bell going to be hitting from the left side. 3.5K. Nice cheap price tag there. Garcia 2.7K. I think that's a cheap price tag on him. He's been producing lately, so I don't mind the idea of like a three-man stack here. Soto as a one-off or just completely fading it, whatever you want to do. The park is a more pitcher-friendly park here, but what I've been seeing is I do like the left-handed batters in this park still. On the other side with the Orioles, I like some bats here. Santander 3.9K I think is a very fair price. Mountcastle 3.9. So I do like bats on both sides here. It is a big slate here, so not really sure what I'm going to do there. Next, we have the Cubs and the Pirates, 9 over under here. Pirates favored here at home. Swarmer taking on Contreras. Swarmer 8.3K. Not enough big enough sample size here. It's a decent matchup against the Pirates in Pittsburgh, but he's just a little too expensive. So I'm crossing him off the board. Contreras on the other side, 7.4K. 25% strikeout rate here. Walks just a little high, 8.6% there. I think he's kind of a wild card, gets a decent matchup again in that home ballpark. Not really sure how deep he can get. So maybe he's in the player pool for mass entering, but yeah, I just don't know how far he's going to get in this game. Not opposed to some bats on the Cubs side here, but I definitely prefer bats on the Pittsburgh side. They are very cheap. Starting with Swinsky, 2.1K, 273 ISO versus right-handed pitching. He does have power upside. He had that 3 home run game the other day, produced a bit yesterday as well. Cruz at 2K, first game called up, had a big, massive game here. The price is still min price. I think he's very much in play. He's a big boy with some big power. Vogelbach, 2.5K. 254 ISO versus right-handed pitching here. Reynolds, I think you can easily throw him in your stack at 3.9. He has upside, obviously. And then Madris, I don't really know too much about him, so I'm not going to pretend that I do. But he is 2K, had a big game yesterday. He just got called up, so a nice cheap add-on for your stacks. So it kind of opens up a lot of possibilities here. You can spend on some big bats. You can spend up on pitching, whatever you want to do. You can 3-man it, 5-man it, 4-man it, one off. The world is your oyster. Next, we have the Yankees and the Rays. No over under total here just yet. Cortez taking on Fleming. Cortez 10.4K, 27.8% strikeout rate here, 19.6% strikeout rate over the last 30 days. So a little bit of a regression here. I think we could see that coming a little bit. He is in play, but I do think it's an overpay here. Rays are 28th overall in strikeouts versus left-handed pitching, so kind of tough to get there. But yes, definitely in play. On the other side, Fleming at 6.8K, real tough matchup against the Yankees. I know they're in Tampa. It's a nice ballpark for pitching. He's been struggling a little bit with his command and just hasn't really been good against right-handed batters this season. So I think the Yankees are very much in play for me. I'm not sure what their ownership is going to look like on a 13 game slate. But righties are in play along with Rizzo. I like him a lot. Torres 4K sticks out. 242 ISO versus left-handed pitching this season. Rizzo at 5.5. Judge obviously at 6.3. Can always go there. DJ leading off probably at 4.3K. And then if you want to just make your stack a little bit cheaper, Higashioka is a cheap stack add-on. He can hit lefties very well. He's only 2.3K. So I like him there. So pretty much everyone I think on the Yankees is someone in play here. And then on the other side, I know the Rays aren't striking out a ton versus left-handed pitching. Cortez has been pitching very well here. Not just a spot I really want to attack. The projected lineup today has a team total of a 103 ISO there. So definitely prefer the Yankees in this one. Next, we have the Tigers and the Red Sox, 9.5 over under here. The Sox are favored at home. Brisky taking on Hill. Brisky 5.8K, really struggling against right-handed batters here. 246 ISO, 354 WOBA against righties here. On the other side, Hill 7.2K, 501 xFIP on the year. He is old. He's in play, sure, in big GPPs there for some salary reasons. I think it's fine. I mean, he's facing the Tigers at home, but he kind of just lacks that upside. He's probably not going to go 7 innings, but anything's possible. On the Tigers side, I think some bats are in play. Weather's nice here in Boston. Baez at 3.8K. He can hit lefties very well. 368 ISO versus left-handed pitching the last 30 days. So I think he's in a good spot there. Grossman at 2.2K has shown the ability to hit lefties. Green 2K, still minimum price. I'm assuming he gets the start today. So there's just cheap pieces here. I wouldn't like full man stack it. But if you need some salary relief against an old dusty guy, they're there. On the other side with the Red Sox, bats by far definitely in play here. I really love the ceiling on the slate today. Story 4.8K is just a really nice price drop, and then Bogarts as well at 4.6. I'm not sure why the prices are going down, but I am interested in full stacking here. I think bats are for sure in play at home. Next, we have the Giants and the Braves. Braves favorited here, 9 over under. Descalafani taking on Strider. Disco is coming off the 60-day IL. Real tough matchup for him. 7.5K, just not going to get there. On the other side with Strider, 8.6K, really has shown so much strikeout ability. 38.6% strikeout rate here. I think by far the highest on the slate. That does come with, a high walk rate here at just under 12%, 3.28 xFIP. Not the best matchup against the Giants, but just a great option for GPPs here. Struggles with command a little bit more to right-handed batters. However, I think the Giants are going to be rolling out a lot of lefties here. So I think Strider is very much in play here. I think the price is fair for his upside. Can it backfire? Sure. But on the other side, bats for the Braves, definitely in play. Olsen 4.3K. Disco struggles more against left-handed batters in general, so I really like him. I really like Harris if you're stacking. He's probably hitting 9th. He is a lefty who's shown some upside this past couple weeks here, so you really could look to the bottom of the order and guys like Harris, Arcia, stuff like that. So just a good spot here for the Braves. Could be popular. A way you could get different is just stack the Braves without Acuna, get some salary relief. But either way, I think they're all in play here. So like the bats in Atlanta. Guardians taking on the Twins. Twins are at home, 9 over under, wind blowing out. Maybe one of the better weather games on the slate. Savali coming off the IR here at 6.4K, no interest there. Ryan at 8.8K. I just don't think this is the slate for him today. Has shown he can be good. It's just not a good spot here. Guardians don't really strike out a ton. I don't really want to full stack Cleveland today, but Ramirez very much in play, 5.7K, 381 ISO versus righties on the year. Always in play. Naylor 4.2, don't love the price there, but has shown power against right-handed pitching. Reyes coming off the IR today has been doing pretty well in the minors on his rehab stint. Great buy low situation here. Massive power at 2.8K. Jimenez 4.5K. I don't really love the price over on DraftKings, but I think he's in play if you're trying to like 3-man stack it or what have you. And it kind of fills your second base need there. On the other side, for the Twins, I think they're all very much in play. Buxton, 5.7K, 318 ISO versus righties on the season at home, winds blowing out. Kirilloff, 2.2K, a part of this wave of prospects being called up, had some success last year. Cheap price tag here. Correa at 4.7. He's been hitting the ball a little bit better as of late. So you definitely could game stack it. I wouldn't hate it. So bats in play. Weather, nice. Next game here, Phillies and the Rangers, 8 over under here, kind of a pick 'em game. Gibson taking on Perez. Gibson 8.1K, 21% strikeout rate here. Really like what I'm seeing as far as getting ground balls, just under 50% ground ball rate, 3.96 xFIP there. Hasn't really been too terrible this season. I don't think he gets enough credit. He isn't amazing. He isn't like terrible. So you kind of get what you get with him. I don't mind taking some shots on him in GPPs there against the Rangers. On the other side, Perez 9.6. I think it's a little bit too expensive, but hat tip to the season he's had so far. 19.8% strikeout rate here. Just not enough ceiling there for the price tag against the Phillies. You could play the first three in that order: Schwarber, Harper, Hoskins, but they're priced kind of where they should be. If they fail, it kind of screws you. Could be a classic Phillies letdown. So probably not going to get there, but I understand if you wanted to like three man that, I get it. On the other side, I'm just not interested in the Rangers bats here. Some of them are heating up. Seager, Garcia really hitting the ball well lately, but I'm not sure I'm going to get there today against Gibson. There's other spots I really do like on this slate. It's a big one. So next one here, this is going to be the most interesting game on the slate today. 9 over under, 95-degree temperature with winds blowing out to center. Very interesting spot here. You have two top arms on of the slate going against each other. Gaussman, 10.2K, 26% strikeout rate here. Good control. Hasn't really been the same guy over the last 30 days. I've been playing him a couple times here and there his last few starts, thinking he can kind of just hit that ceiling again, but he's just struggling against righties over that last 30-day period. Not a good get right spot with the weather going against the White Sox. On the other side, Cease, 9.8K, 32.9% strikeout rate on the year. That does come with that hefty walk rate, 11.5%. Tougher matchup here. Kind of play at your own risk here. We know he has some sort of ceiling, but walking guys facing Toronto, winds blowing out, it's hot, could be a sticky situation for either pitcher, really. So yeah, weather is juicy. This is maybe a contrarian stack, maybe not. Springer 4.8K. I think that's just too cheap leading off. Big Bad Vlad at 5.6, always in play. Kirk 4.3, having a great season. Hernandez has been mashing the ball 4.5 right there. I don't mind even getting to Tapia at 2.5K to get some savings. There are some bats at the bottom of the order. This lineup is kind of changing a little bit. Weather's heating up, so I don't hate that if you need to save some money. And then with the White Sox, I don't think they're going to be owned at all. Contrarian for sure, but I am down to clown here. Anderson at 5.2K, Vaughn 3.6, been hitting out of that 2-hole. Robert at 5.1, he's been hitting very well lately. Abreu 4.4. There's just ways to kind of stack this team. Again, like that Twins game, I don't mind like a game stack here either, fading both pitchers, sure. So feel pretty good about that one. Next, we have the Mets and the Astros, 9 over under here. Williams taking on Urquidy. I don't know, two good teams facing each other. It's just going to be like a great baseball game to watch, but maybe not so much in DFS. So I'm off of Williams. I'm not going to take any pitcher really against the Astros here. No, thank you. Urquidy, 6.5K. I'm sure he'll get some love in some GPPs. It's just a tough matchup against the Mets. He's a fly ball pitcher. The price tag is cheap, but he has been struggling a bit here. So don't really love it. As far as bats go, I wouldn't argue, if you're feeling, good and juicy, you want Alonso in your lineup as a one-off at 4.9. I understand it. I totally get it. Like I said, Urquidy, a fly ball pitcher. Astros have just a good bullpen. So not really a spot or a team I want to attack in general. On the other side, Alvarez at 5.9. It's getting pricey, but he's well worth it. He does have those days where he can go out and get you 2 home runs in a game. 396 ISO versus righties. I'm not really afraid of Trevor Williams, so I wouldn't argue if you wanted to play some Astros bats in general. I totally get it. Next, we have the Cardinals and the Brewers. 9 over under here. Cardinals are favorited on the road. Flaherty taking on Gonzalez, Chichi. Flaherty 7.7K, just not going to get there. He's coming off the 60-day IL. Second start, I believe. He's expected to only throw about 75 pitches here. And then on the other side, I'm never going to play Chichi Gonzalez here, but I will stack against him. Cardinals bats very much in play. A lot of cheap guys with upside here. Goldschmidt 5.4K, 4.8K. Hell of a season so far. Arenado 4.8. Price is great. Yepez 3.1K. Carlson, Bader. A lot of guys just kind of producing lately. They're very good against right-handed pitching. I think the run total is, pretty good here, 9. So I just in general really like this side of the game. On the other side, Tellez at 3.6. I think the power is there. I don't love the price here. He's hasn't been hitting as well as of late, but for sure in play. Renfro 3.5. Don't mind the power there at that price, but probably going to stick more to the Cardinals side of things here. Next, we have the Royals and the Angels, 9.5 over under here. Angels are favorited at home. Heasley taking on Detmers. Just a bunch of bad pitching going in this one. Bullpen's not great either. Heasley just not good. Struggles with his command. Detmers, no upside. Also struggles with command. So bats very much in play here. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this one. You kind of know where you're going with Kansas City, kind of know what you're doing with the Angels. Perez very much in play. Catcher with a lot of upside here. You can just take him as a one-off at 4.8K. I think that's fair. Melendez, we just want to highlight that he's got a 333 ISO against lefties on the season, 3.9K. So yeah, Detmers just isn't very good. So I can't argue if you want to go here for some savings. On the other side with the Angels, same kind of 4 bats in play. Trout, Ward, the 2 I really, really like. But, if you have the salary to get to Ohtani, you obviously know what he can do. Walsh as well, I think is fair. So bats on both sides in play. Real bad pitching in that one. Next, we have the Diamondbacks and the Padres, 7 over under here. Gallon taking on Mania. Gallon 9.3K, 22.6% strikeout rate here. Love to see that ground ball rate nice and high, 47.8%. He's definitely had his ups and downs. Probably going to have lower ownership off of Mania. Nice little pivot there in GPPs. So kind of interesting there. I don't love the price, but I think he's in play for sure. Low over under total in general. Pitching in San Diego. Probably no Manny Machado. On the other side, Mania 9K, 25.2% strikeout rate here. Not a bad price here. Low run total. Getting the Diamondbacks. Probably will be popular here. I'm not really sure I'm going to really get to any bats in this one. Lucklow in there at 3.2K, maybe as a one-off. He is a lefty masher, 439 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. So kind of interesting there. Christian Walker, I don't have him listed, but I think he's, having a good season. Not so much hitting for average, but has 18 home runs on the year, but probably off this spot, aside from maybe Lucklow. And then on the other side with the Padres, just not much I really like here going against Gallon. So pitching is interesting. Luplow, interesting one-off for me. And then last but not least, the Mariners taking on the A's. Mariners are favorited here, 8.5 over under. Gonzalez against Caprillion, just not good pitching in this one at all. Gonzalez 7.1K, 558 xFIP, just hasn't been good this season. In years past, we have seen him have good games. He's just really struggling here. He is getting the A's, however, but at that price tag, I think there's other guys I'd like to pivot to. Caprillion at 5.5K, very, very cheap. Really struggling this season. 14% strikeout rate here, 10% walk rate. Just can't get it right, 6.15 xFIP here. So I actually do like the Mariners a little bit. I think they're going to be somewhat lower owned. It's a contrarian stack against a bad pitcher, or at least a pitcher who's been really, really struggling this year. So you can look at guys like France at 4.2, Rodriguez at 4.7, Suarez, Trammell for a cheap way to get a little bit different. I think they'll be a little bit lower owned, perhaps a little bit contrarian on the slate. Good spot for them. On the other side, there's some guys I do like maybe as one-offs here, or maybe a 2-man stack for some salary relief. Murphy mashes lefties, 3.4K, 298 ISO against lefties this season. Brown at 2.8, I think he has some power upside. Has been hitting the ball a little bit better lately against lefties. Davidson, 2.4K, lefty masher, just not going to probably get any ownership on this slate. So you could look at a bat or two for some salary relief, or maybe like some sort of late swap if you're into that. But yeah, that'll do it. My name is Tim. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button, really helps me out a ton. Best of luck to you today, and enjoy that nice weather. Peace out.